Mom Dwayne. How you doing today? Oh, fine. It is March the 7th, 2019. I want to first start off, I'm going to make this quick. People are still around American Extended Stay saying the number 3. Like they're retarded or they on drugs. Like down the hall, somebody might yell the number 3. Literally, like they're on drugs, retarded. Last night, it was so odd because on room 118, the guy in room 118 where I saw the United States military male, he had olive skin or something like that, was saying he was actually making a noise like he was having sex, because you know the walls are so close together. And I told you the story about that room. One morning, this is when I first came to Annapolis, I walked past room 118. And every time I walked past room 118, I was going to get coffee, the doorknob would shake. And then I was going to get coffee, so I went to get coffee, the doorknob shake. This is the room next to my room at room 116. I come back with the coffee, and the doorknob shake in room 18. I have to pass by room 118 to get 116, to get to room 116. I drop off the coffee. I go back because I usually get 3 cups. This is when I used to drink coffee quite a bit. And I walk past the doorknob and the room, and the doorknob shook again. And so I got the other cup of coffee, and this time, as I was going back for the last time, I had to walk past the room to get to the room 116 at American Extended Stay. The person opened the door, and when they opened the door, this is the room next to my room 118, it was a male in full United States military uniform, or he had on a military uniform. And I was like, why is this person, every time I walk by, first of all, I used to hear mumbling noises coming from the room, shaking the doorknob when I walked by. Now, this is very odd. Then I noticed, I didn't say anything. I just went in my room and I just stayed quiet because I just came to Annapolis. And to tell you the truth, I didn't know about the military base that was here in Annapolis, whether it was the Navy or the Army. Then there was this one guy that came into Burger King. I told you this before. He had the license plate MIL, and then I had wrote down the number. The reason why I wrote down the number because he kept returning the bacon and cheese croissants. Now I didn't know MIL was connected to the Navy. I had no idea, but this is why I looked it up. So he ordered a bacon and cheese croissant, and then he returned it and said that was flat. I never had a customer use the word flat for a bacon and cheese croissant at Burger King, but I'm trying to perform customer service. So if he says it's flat, we want to fix it. So I returned it, and I said, well, no problem, sir. And the cook made another bacon and cheese croissant. Gave him the bacon and cheese croissant, and because he was complaining loud, and so he left. He said, this one is flat too. Now, the bacon and cheese croissants only get 3 slices of bacon. So I don't know, I didn't understand how a bacon and cheese croissant is considered flat. And then, so I returned it again. This time, the manager, Thomas, this is a black male, Thomas, a black male at Burger King, he made the bacon and cheese croissant himself. This time, the black male, this is a black male that was driving the car with the license plate MIL, which now I realize is connected to the Navy. This time, okay, while Thomas was making the bacon and cheese croissant, I told him your food would be up shortly. I walked approximately 10 feet away from the male because I could tell he was upset, and I wanted to just do what I needed to do to stay busy until his food come out, and just hopefully he would calm down. He walks those 10 spaces approximately in front of me, and he's looking down like this in front of me. I think I was either doing Burger King crowns. I'm working at Burger King. I don't get paid much at Burger King. Okay, this is so imagine I'm working at Burger King. I'm trying to earn money, and this is what I am experiencing. So he walks in front of me, and this is a black male, and he's staring down, and he's looking down. He said, "What can I get for free?" I looked up Because he said it, because just not too long ago, I remember I had to call the police because a black male actually stalked me as I was walking to work one morning. And I looked up and I just walked away. And Mr. Thomas, the black male manager, gave him the bacon, egg, cheese croissant and told for the third time. This time he didn't return it. So because I had to call the police because a black male was actually stopped me as I was walking to work to earn money at Burger King. And once again, it's March the 7th, 2019. I actually looked at the license plate and I saw the letters MIL, and then I saw the 4-digit number. And I saw a symbol, okay, on the license plate that I didn't recognize before, because I didn't know about the Navy and the license plates connected to the Navy. Because Prophet Noble Drew Ali, our prophet, and Moorish Americans, we are taught to respect the Navy authority, the Navy and the Army, because they're supposed to be protectors, all right? Especially when Moorish Americans are correcting their status and trying to become true American citizens, implementing Abraham Lincoln's proclamations in the 13th Amendment with 20 sections. So we are encouraged to respect these agencies, this military. So to see those that represent the military or imply to represent the military behave so odd, I was surprised. So I wrote down the license plate because I was just stalked a few months ago. And in fact, even before I started this journey, I've always tried to respect the military. I mean, you have you think of liberty. I mean, our country is built off of liberty and divine laws of freedom. So the Liberty Bell is in Philadelphia. So anyway, so let me continue. So I told the manager Thomas about this, and he said okay. And I told also the manager James about this, because I told him it was odd. And he, I was like, I've never had anyone walk in front of me and ask what they can get for free. And then later when I looked at the license plate and realized it was connected to the Navy, I was so surprised, Dwayne Bey. I was so surprised. I couldn't believe that a male would behave in such an odd manner, implying to be connected to the Navy, because this is authority. I mean, these officers go overseas, okay, and they represent supposedly the United States. So I was like, there is no way I am sitting here at Burger King and I am experiencing this shameful act from this odd behavior from these males. So if they're doing it here, imagine how they behave when we don't have a TV or a radio to watch them and see what's going on. That's what I was thinking. I said, no way in the world, because like I said, we are encouraged as Moorish Americans to respect them. And also we automatically, I know I did, think that they're going to respect the U.S.A. Constitution. All right, and they have either taken an oath or affirmed to do so. But I remember in Abraham proclamations, the oath of amnesty and reconstruction, it did say there were some officers that are exempt to ever get back into the constitutional fold, because they are supposed to uphold these laws, whether it's through an oath or affirm. And so when these military officers behave less than what their oath is supposed to, or they never took the oath in the first place, then what jurisdiction are they operating on? So I found that really crazy. And then also I remember I told you about the black male that came to Burger King. He was just walking around saying how he was gonna get a soul. He was singing loud, and I couldn't believe that he had an Army emblem on the back of his truck. He was singing and sweating profusely, and he was singing about, he's a black male, talking about how he gonna get a soul. And I was so surprised to see some of the regulars. Like when I first came to Annapolis, Maryland, this was in the year 2016. I used to see some of the black male regulars get dropped off by this lady, and she used to have the license plate Navy 1. One of the black males, I can say his name is Charlie. At least that's what they call him. That's what he has responded to. I don't know his real name, but I remember when I first came to Annapolis, he was like, "You didn't see me? I was waving at you." I was like, "Sir, I don't know you. I'm not gonna." You were walking that day, and I was waving at you. I was like, "Sir, I don't know you." But the pale skin lady used to drop him off at Burger King every day. He still come to Burger King almost every day and sit for hours. And she had the license plate Navy, NAVY1. And she would have these United States flags on each side of her SUV, a black US. She drove a black SUV and had the United States flag on each side. And then one day, the black male, now his name is Charlie, or that's what he has answered to. I don't know his real name, because he still comes to Burger King. This is 2019, and this was in 2016, 2017. One day, the black male that they say call him Charlie, besides him saying that, he told me he didn't want me to touch his hands anymore, okay? I was like, "You don't want me to touch your hands?" He told the manager, the owner of the Burger King, for me not to touch his hands anymore, to place everything on the counter. I said, "Okay, no problem." Now, once again, when I see NAVY1 license plate, now that was automatically, I knew that was Navy, because it's easy to spell and read the word Navy, Navy1. Okay, so I was so surprised. And then he would sometimes start cursing. He had cursed me or tried to put money in my hand after he told the owners not to put money, for me not to put money in his hand. He tried to put money in my hand. Then I noticed other males that had license plates that said Army sitting at that same table with him. So I was like, okay, so I see there are license plates on some of these cars that says Navy, MIL, and not too long ago, there's other males that would sit at that same table with MIL, which represents, I looked online, the Navy, or it says Army. And I was just like, when they all sit at that same table, regular, where a lot of them have behaved so odd. I had to call the cops on another black male. Now, I don't know if he is a connection to the military or not, but he sits at that same table with those regulars that imply to be connected to the military, or they drive an automobile that has a license plate that either say Army or MIL, or something that, or a emblem that says Army, or something that implies that they are connected to the military. All right, I had to call the cops because he thought I was trying to take his picture. Now, why is he worried about I'm trying to take his picture? Everybody has a camera on their phone. I'm using my cell phone, my tablet. There's a camera there for a reason. There are cameras all over Burger King, all over Burger King. When you walk outside of Burger King, there is a camera. But this male was worried that I was going to take a picture. He sits at that same table where those other males sit there that imply to be connected to the United States military and Navy. So I didn't understand, why is he worried about if I'm going to take his picture? So this is so odd, because I have never in my life experienced this before in my life. And then see some of them sit there for hours. But it doesn't matter. I think they have the right to sit there. They retired. You know, it's no problem with that. But I think when they start behaving aggressive towards an employee that's working at a restaurant, all right, and she's on her feet, then that's a problem. It's like, why, you sit here for hours and you're going to start acting aggressive at a restaurant, and you are implying to be connected to the United States military and Army? It makes me think about my son, Arrington-Bey, when he was at American Extended Stay, and how he would be attacked spiritually. Okay, when he was attacked spiritually, a lot of times those around American Extended Stay would start saying brother. Okay, so anyway, go ahead. I'm going back to room 118. A lot of times in the room 118, whoever's mumbling in that room, they usually have like an accent that speaks Spanish. Okay, so I don't know who they are, but it just keeps bringing me back to that thought when that male opened the door after shaking the doorknob several times as I walked by, and he was dressed in full uniform, military uniform, Dwayne Byfield Bey. Now I was like, now, okay, one time shaking the knob, that's one thing. That's one thing. 2 times shaking the knob, possibly. But I walked past the door at least 4 times, and the knob was shook. So it makes me wonder what is going on, Islam. And so that's really all I have to say. Jurisdiction. So once again, Abraham Lincoln put a check on the United States Navy and Army for a reason, because he didn't want them to abuse their authority, abuse their power. So obviously Abraham Lincoln thought ahead, okay, because he was implementing laws of freedom. Okay, so I'm not saying this is what's going on, but I'm just giving you a testimony of what I have experienced. Islam. I'll talk to you later. It's March the 7th, 2019. Islam.